The girl, Mary J. Blige, is in a hot mess, right? Now because the feds just linked her to Diddy and his crimes, and it looks like she is about to be swept up on the RICO. Charges that Diddy is facing Mary J. Blige and Diddy go way back more than 30 years now, and they have been good friends for that long. But according to recent developments, it appears like there was more to her story than met the eye because, allegedly, she was also involved in the same shady activities as Diddy was. And now that the feds have caught up to her, she is switching up on Diddy and snitching like a canary baby. Mar has zero intentions of going down with Diddy, and she is working with the feds to send him to prison. Did Mary allegedly said minor, just like Diddy, and did she really have an affair with Diddy? Let's spill the tea. Diddy, aka the Diddler, is losing friends faster than he is losing his public relations, which is saying a lot because we all know that Diddy is on the way down. Most of the people that he thought he solidly had in his corner and jumped she and left him to his fate, including Jay-Z, the Kardashians, and now Mary J. Blige. Then Diddy is not so surprising, but what is shocking is the speed at which she switched up on him. After the FBI started looking into her like Jay-Z, Mary J. Blige has always claimed that she and Diddy are for life, that she is his ride or die, blah blah. Blah, if you think Diddy and Jay-Z are, he and Mary J. Blige are even closer. They have known each other since the early 90s, and Diddy even produced some of her earliest albums, including her debut album, What's the 411, which means that they have known each other for at least 33 years. Diddy has always had given her flowers for being one of the greatest performers and vocalists of all time. In an interview, he said Mary J. Blige is one of the greatest storytellers in R&B history. She created a lane for women around the world to speak their truth to power. So nobody deserves a success more than her. More than being my sister and my best friend, she will forever be a pioneer and the queen of hip-hop soul who remains unstoppable force that can accomplish anything she sets her mind to. But in the late 90s to early 2000s, they suddenly had a really bad falling out. And for the next couple years ago, they had bad beef and rarely spoke to each other. Eventually, she came out to claim that the beef was her fault because she was a mess and couldn't keep her act together. She said, "The reason we split up is not me understanding the business the way that I needed to understand it at the time. Had a label, he had a female artist, he had a biggie, but during the time I was really dogging myself. I was a hot mess. On drugs, any smart man or businessman would have moved away from me. It felt like he was becoming distant. But looking back, I now understand why I wasn't delivering properly, wasn't taking care of my health, so how can he roll his dice on me?" Well, Diddy eventually forgave her, and they moved past their issues, going back to being besties once more until now. That is because Mary is now trying to convince us that she and Diddy are not as close as we think they are, claiming that she burned that bridge a long time ago. The timing of this low-key interesting because people feel like she is just trying to distance herself from Diddy now that things have gone sideways for him between being sued by 5 different people for SA and being investigated by the feds on RICO charges. Diddy is not the only one on the hot seat because everybody associated with him is also going to get investigated by the feds. And one thing about the FBI, after the raid on Diddy's LA and Miami house, Homeland Security investigations in New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our local law enforcement partners. However, Diddy's lawyers slammed the feds and claimed that it was a witch hunt. Leads to a premature rush to judgment of Mr. Combs is nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. There have been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name, but the feds didn't come to play with Diddy, and soon they started picking up and detaining people close to him. His sons Justin and Christians were cuffed and detained. During the raid, 2 of his assistants were arrested. International Airport for possession of the RICO charges were coming, and everybody could see them, including Mary J. Blige. More people were not so surprised, because ain't nobody want to catch a RICO case. Plus, there has been talk for a while now that Mary J. Blige has the Cassie's treatment while she was with Diddy. Diddy allegedly woke her up and also forced her to use a strap to please. Reports claimed that Mary didn't want to do that, and she would break down in tears after it happened. There were also reports that Diddy got her pregnant. This incident traumatized her so badly that she decided to never have children of her own, and after that, she hinted at this in an interview where she said, "I have nieces and nephews forever, and I'm always watching how people are scrambling for babysitters. I don't want to go through that. I like my freedom to go and move and do what I wanted. Don't have to tend to someone else all right now. That's where I'm at. But I don't think having kids is going to happen." But wait, that's still not the entire story. I mean, she has continued to be friends with Diddy even after he did all that. So why exactly is she switching up on him? Well, as it turns out, the feds have gotten to her, and they have connected her too, which is why she is now panicking, and she is sacrificing him to save herself. If you're wondering why she's panicking, it's because the feds are threatening to include her in the RICO charges, and also brings her up on charges. For those who don't know, Mary J. Blige had an intimate relationship with singer Danny Boy when he was 16, and she was 24. Danny recently spoke about this in an interview, saying that the time they got intimate was in 1995. After the Source Award, he claimed that he and Mary J. Blige was invited to a party, along with other people like Diddy Baby. Hilton claimed that he hung out with a group and had a couple of drinks before going back to his room. But then someone called him back, claiming that there was a woman who wanted to see and meet him when he gets to his room.
I think I left out, and she'll call me back up to the room. He said, come back upstairs, man. Old girl want to see you. Little girl. And Mary's sitting on the couch. So I know the girl that he in the bed with don't want me. So I went in, he closed the door, sit down, and I start talking to Mary. And inside, I'm about to lose it, because I'm actually sitting here talking to Mary. She's sitting on the couch, and we ordered some food and some more drinks.
Where he was asked to go, Mary and Miso were the only ones in the room. And he went on to claim that Mary got very touchy with him, and she was actively flirting with him. And he also claimed that she put her head in his lap and touched him, and that things got very, very intense.
Straight. You did it like, I'm 15, 16 years old. And she laying on the couch. And I'm sitting on the other end, and she laid down on the couch and put her head in my lap. He can't be talking about Mary. Was talking about she wanted me to come back up here, and now she on my lap. And I'm sitting there and I'm wondering, I'm like, okay, what is this gonna end up to? And she stayed a couple more hours. And we decided to go in the other room because it was a suite. We went in another room and laid down. And she laid down with me, and she kind of like backed up against me, and every time she backed up against me, I would move away, and you know. And
the nasty, but that wasn't the only time, because Danny added that it turned into a full-blown affair with Mary. Flew him out to New York so they could do the nasty. She also allegedly fooled him into thinking that he was hers boyfriend, even though she also had a thing going on with Tupac at the time.
From that time, I had an opportunity to go out to New York and visit her a couple more times. Well, you know, that's why I was kind of confused when I heard Kurt saying that Mary was pot girl. Because at that time, she was my girl. At that time, I'm 15, 16 years old, and she flying me in to see her. And you know what it is when a girl back up on you, you young and trying to show her that she ain't phasing me.
Because Danny was still a minor, this is considered to be statutory ASA, and Mary could get into a whole lot of trouble for it. According to an insider at the feds, discovered this information during their investigation, and they tied it back to Diddy, especially because his baby mama, Miso, was in the room, which explains why Mary immediately switched up on Diddy and has allegedly been cooperating with the feds. In their investigation, this is a hot, stinking mess. Whole situation. During their probe, it all links back to Diddy, especially since why Mary did take a 180 on Diddy and supposedly started singing like a canary to the feds. Well, the fans have definitely been saying a whole lot of stuff about this in the streets, and they're not really in this situation. Is absolutely crazy. Not our queen of hip-hop soul, Mary J. We definitely trying to figure out what's the 411 hun while she is out here trying to have no more drama in her life. I still think there's going to be some rainy days that's in her very near future. But what do y'all think about this? What do y'all think that Mary J. Blige is mixed up in all these Diddy allegations? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And then check out this next video.